Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Flitz. I hope everyone's having a great day. But we got a fun video today. A little bit of a personal one, if you will. So for some context, I went on Twitter a few days ago, and a tweet came across my timeline, and it was a very cool video of two high school teams going at it with like thousands of fans in the crowd. You know, super hype student section. You know, the players had intros. You know, it was a really cool video, and I was like, damn, that's sick. And then I remembered my high school. And guys, let's just say my high school Rocket League experience wasn't the best. So I decided to tweet about it, and I said, fun fact, senior year I tried to play for my high school Rocket League team. It was the first year it got announced, and we scrimmed a team. And I had 20 goals in one game, and then they reported me, and I got banned from the league. And I made this tweet, and I didn't think much of it, but then I looked, and it had 136,000 engagements. Basically, the tweet went like kind of viral. It has like 1,200 likes right now, and I put a comment on that, and I said, should I do a story time singles like Neat Mike back in the day and tell the full story or what? Shout out Neat Mike. And that tweet alone got 300 likes as well. So this is going to be the full story of how I got kicked off my high school Rocket League team. So let me set the scene a little bit. The year's 2021, and I'm heading into my final year of high school as a senior. Since this is towards the end of 2021, like August, September area, COVID is starting to die down, and my school system is trying to ease back into things. So this is the first time everyone is back on campus since the outbreak. Keep in mind, I go to a very big school, like 3,000 students big. So when everyone went from online to back in person, some new teachers were hired to help with the excess kids. And one very important new teacher was hired. Let's just call him Bill. The reason Bill is so important to this story is because Bill was like an assistant soccer coach, but he was an esports coordinator at his old school. So when Bill got to my high school, he decided to start up his own esports program. Everyone was asking for a bunch of games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, and stuff like that to be added, but only 2 different games were added in the first year. League of Legends, and of course Rocket League. Now, while all this is going on and developing, I had absolutely no idea. I was focusing on my RLCS team at the time. We were actively competing in these off-season tournaments, and we were about to sign to an organization. Fucking all mid. But that's besides the point. But that's important because I had no idea any of this was happening. Until one day, my homeboy Alex sent me a text, and he goes, yo, dude, my teacher Bill, he's got this esports team, and Rocket League is in it. And so I was like, oh, okay, you know, that's pretty cool. It sounds interesting. Well, why are you texting me? And he's like, well, I might have told him that my friend is really good at Rocket League and in the top 100 and all that. And I was like, bro, I'm like 99% sure this happened, but I'm pretty sure he pulled up my TikTok and started showing him my TikTok clips. And I'm like, dude. But, you know, we got over it. And then I was like, you know what? Let me think about this, right? I tried playing high school baseball, and I didn't make the team, and then after I didn't make the team, I decided to put most of my energy in Rocket League, which was clearly the right choice, but I still had a chance to play some sort of high school sport in the sense of Rocket League, something that I'm very good at, and I knew that I'd probably be the best on the team, so I was like, you know what? Let me just check this out, right? Let me go see what this is all about. So I met with Bill, and I was like, yo, my friend told you about me, and I told him about you, blah, 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 right? Like, let's skip the formalities. My name's Dylan, you can call me Flitz, blah, 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 I play Rocket League, blah, 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 right? And Bill is like, wow, you know, you seem to be pretty good, you know, we definitely want you to come out to tryouts. So I'm like, okay. And this is where it all starts to crumble and go wrong, because tryouts, it should be what helps you make the team. But in my case, it was quite the opposite. So let's dive in. So at this point in the story, I head back home, I grab my controller, my computer wire, and I head to the school. Reason being is I couldn't play online, I had to go in person and play at a computer lab, and they provided everything for us, right? I was told that there was like an engineering lab that we were gonna play in, so I headed up to this engineering lab, and I saw a dual monitor setup, so I was like, damn, hey, this is pretty good. Guys, it took 30 minutes to open Rocket League. That's not even a joke either. Like I timed it once. I think it was like 23 minutes. Like it genuinely took like 20 minutes to open up the game, not to play, just to open the game. So we had to get there even early for the later on tryouts, but I learned pretty early on that the PCs that we were playing on were absolutely atrocious. I didn't expect too much, but there's a school that's a few minutes away from ours, like maybe like 20 minutes away from ours, that has like full on like i9, like 3070 graphics cards in their setups. And we have this like pre-built $300 Lenovo PC, and I'm just like, come on, right? But anyways, the first part of the tryouts were very simple. There's about 8 players there. We found out very early on of them that one of them was like plat and you couldn't like jump. So that guy kind of got cut pretty quickly. But eventually, at this point in the story, we were doing in-house scrims. And if you guys don't know what in-house scrims are, it's basically you take 6 people and just do random teams, and we were just scrimming, doing 3v3s. And I learned very quickly who was good and who wasn't. And in case you couldn't imagine, I was dropping like 15 goals a game. I might actually still have some screenshots. If I do, I'll provide them in the video. If I don't, then I didn't have them. But I was going insane in these scrimmages. No one can touch me. I'm like, all right, I'm making the team, blah, blah, blah. I already knew this, right? Towards the end of the tryout period, there was an A team and a B team. I don't remember exactly who the B team was, but the A team was me, a guy named Noah, and a guy named Drew. So Noah was actually a dude that was in my elementary school. So shout out Noah. And then I met Drew the year before in my Spanish class. So I actually knew both these guys. They were Champ 3 and Champ 2. And then obviously I was SSL. I think it was like number 80 or something at the time in 2. So I was doing pretty good. Since we kind of knew that the team was going to be me, Drew, and Noah, we started to scrim other teams that were going to be in our league. And before I cut into these scrims, there are 2 things that I have to tell you about, and I'll explain more later. The first thing you need to know is GHSA. That is the Georgia High School Sports Association. I live in Georgia, in case you didn't know. And the second thing is Play VS, Play Versus, which was the website in the league that we used to play these other Georgia teams in. And for some reason, Play Versus was also how we scheduled our scrims. It was both where we played and how we scheduled our scrims. So we signed up, everything was good to go, we were ready to play Versus, and we decided to do a scrimmage. I didn't want to do a scrimmage. I didn't think we needed to do a scrimmage because, respectfully, I think I was the only SSL in the league, maybe excluding one other person. So I knew anyone that we played, if I just hit it to the backboard, they weren't going to be able to hit it, right? But they were like, no, we got to practice to go scrimmage, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, you know what, whatever. It's, these guys are cool. I like my teammates. They were nice. So let's just play a scrimmage. Let's see what happens. So we get into the scrimmage, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put on my blue tag, right? And if you guys don't know what the blue tag is, RLCS contender pretty much just says like, hey, I played in the RLCS, I'm a cool guy. And I got this a while ago from when I was on PK. But I thought I was cool, I thought I was the shit, so I put on my blue tag and we started the scrim. And look, I kind of felt bad, but I didn't feel that bad because when we played these guys, I think we won every game by 15 goals or more. And I do have screenshots of this, so I will put this on screen. We were destroying these guys. I was hitting single, double flip reset, double touches, musty flicks. I even had a game where my sole purpose was not to score, but to bump and pass to my other teammates. Like, we were just toying with them. It was disgusting. And I'm pretty sure at the time, this team was supposed to be one of the better teams in this league, and we were beating them by like 20 goals. So we felt like we were the shit, man. We're like, oh man, we're stomping these guys. This is gonna be a great year. We're gonna win. I'm gonna get a state ring. I'm gonna get a Letterman. It's gonna be like the quarterback for the high school team, except he's a Rocket League striker. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a pretty good year. So we finish the scrim, I grab my stuff and I leave, and Bill ends up messaging the other team like after the fact. It says like GG's, and he's like, yeah, we actually have like a pro player on our team, which I wasn't gonna sit there and correct him and be like, actually I'm a bubble player, because they're not gonna know what that means. So I just kind of rolled with it. I was like, yeah, whatever, just keep going, whatever, sure. Now, I didn't think much of it, but we hadn't talked to the team in a few days. We kind of took like the week off or whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was, but that next week, that following Monday, I got a call or a text from from Bill, I think it was, and he said, hey, I need you to meet with, we'll call this guy Mr. C. He's like, hey, I need you to meet with Mr. C. All right, guys, and meeting with Mr. C was a big deal, and let me tell you why, because Mr. C was our entire sports coordinator. Like, anything that was sports related went through this guy. If you're the quarterback of the football team, the starting pitcher for our baseball team, a stud soccer player, you went to this guy. So when I was told I was going to Mr. C's office, I'm like, this guy wants to meet me or something. Like, this is gonna be sick, right? So after first period, I put on my backpack and I just went to go meet Mr. C. So I enter his office. He's got his own assistant. He has like 3 rooms connected to this one assistant's room. He's got like a big tank of koi fish, and there's a cheerleader leaving the room as I'm entering. So I'm like, this is pretty sweet. I could get used to this. And he's like, all right, he'll see you now. So I walk in. He's like, hey, are you Dylan? I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? Nice to meet you. I'm Dylan. Shake his hand. All that good stuff. I take a seat. And, you know, he starts talking about the Rocket League team. He's asking me a little bit of questions. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to cut to the chase, son. You got reported. I said, huh? Reported? What? Like, did these kids think I'm cheating? Like, what do you mean reported? And he pulls out this big stack of like 100 sheets of paper and throws it on my desk. And I thought it was 100 reports, but no. This dude pulled out the Constitution of the Georgia High School Sports Association. And he pulls out some random sheet, and on this sheet there's like an underlined sentence that says something pretty close to the following. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something close to this, so bear with me here. Anyone who has made more than $0.01 in their respected sport is no longer eligible to participate in said sport. You know, it was weird too, because Mr. C like said it in that accent and everything, and I was looking at him and I was like, bro, what is wrong with you? Okay, maybe he didn't say that in the accent, but he did say that exact sentence, and I was like, are you serious? Is this like how is this a thing? And then I remembered, GHSA is directly affiliated with the Georgia League in Play Versus. Even though we're on esports, it still applies to GHSA, so even though I'm technically an esport, and obviously Rocket League is very different than something like football or soccer, the same rules apply. Because this actually makes a lot of sense if we're talking about sports. I've actually talked about this a few videos ago, and I've talked about this a few times on my channel. There's a guy that I used to go to high school with, and I met up with him a few times since, but he actually got signed to a professional pro contract at like the age of 15 or something. He joined the pro soccer club Atlanta United while in high school. So if that guy was playing high school sports, obviously that wouldn't make sense. This dude's making like a full-time salary at the age of 15. But while all this was going down, I wasn't on a contract. I made money subbing for PK, but I had never played as a professional player on my own. I just made money in tournaments from the side. But I wasn't gonna waste my time or breath like explaining this to Mr. C, so he's like, you're off the team, son, and I left, but I went to go talk to Bill afterwards. And I told him, I'm like, dude, this rule makes 0 sense. There are literal diamonds, literal champs who have made more than a cent off playing like a champ-only tournament. Like, this doesn't just apply to me. There are probably plenty of players in this league that also have broken this rule. So then they did this full-on investigation through the entire Play Versus League, trying to find any player that may or may not have earned $1 or a cent or anything in Rocket League. And they banned other players for this, not just me. And the craziest part about this rule is Play Versus had a national championship at the end of the year, and if you won, you made like $10,000. So you could literally become ineligible because of the league that is ruling you ineligible if you make money. It makes absolutely 0 sense. So after some time and they continued to fight this, I was just kind of sitting here waiting, doing my own thing. And as all this was happening, my RLCS career was kind of getting interesting. Finally got a contract from fucking All Mid, but I got a contract. It's my first ever player contract. I was super excited to sign it, and obviously I made that choice. Now, All Mid itself was horrible, but that's a story for a different time. But the point is now I was a contracted player actually making money every month. And then about a month after this whole thing started, I got a call from Bill and Mr. C, and I went to their offices. And he said, well, we got some good news, son. We've gotten the rule changed. As long as you're not currently making money playing, you'll be good to go. And I was like, oh shit, because literally like 2 weeks before this happened, I signed my first ever player contract. So I was like, so I got a funny story. And then I just ended up telling him like, hey, I'm currently, like, I signed the contract and I'm still playing and getting paid. And then this dude looks at me and he goes, well, which one are you gonna pick? And that's when I looked him dead in the eye and I said, you know what? You're right. This is more about money. This is about the school. This is about this. Guys, I'm lying. I just said I'm gonna play, you know, and make money, and then I just left. And word got out. People were coming up to me because people knew that I played Rocket League. People knew I was pretty good at it. People would come up to me like, did you really get banned? Yes, I did. And that is the story of how I got banned from my high school Rocket League team. So, long story short, we scrimmed a team. I had a blue tag on. We kicked their ass. They reported me for being too good, found some random clause in the Constitution of Georgia High School's Sports Authority or whatever, and said, oh, you made more than a cent playing this game, you can't play anymore, I was deemed ineligible, blah, blah, blah. Sadly, not all stories have a happy ending, as my high school did not win anything. At the end of the day, too, it sucks, because I was looking forward to it. I was going to play with two good friends, we were going to beat everyone, we were going to get, like, a banner in the cafeteria, because everyone who wins gets a banner in the cafeteria, would have gotten a ring, would have gotten a Letterman, and I don't think anyone would have beaten us, but sadly, that damn blue tag and that damn scrim where we won by 30 goals was our downfall. But I think it was safe to say I made the right choice, because with Kiri and Angel, we made 3 RLCS regionals, we made Gamers 8, and went to Saudi Arabia that summer, and it was the best year of my life. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to hear more story times or videos like this, let me know. I really don't know how this video is going to do. I've never done anything like this before, so I'd really appreciate some feedback. If you comment, like, subscribe, just tell me in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like. I'll work on it if I ever do a video like this again. But with all that being said, this is Storytime Singles with Flitz. If the game I'm playing is still going on, I might let it play out. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video.